I've seen a few of you guys asking about the fate of the Dodge Charger SRT Banshee that my dear friend Tim Knisses revealed around 5 years ago during EV Gay. And then again during Speed Week a couple years ago.
This is the Charger Daytona SRT Banshee. And because it's a Dodge BEV, it will be an assault and battery on convention.
And since then, it has been crickets on all fronts when or even if this car will ever come out, especially when all these manufacturers are now renouncing their EV future. But what if I told you during Roadkill Nights, I learned exactly what is going on with the Banshee, and if you ever see it destroy a Tesla on the roads in the near future. And the answer to that question is coming right now. Okay, well, we're 51,000 friends, and the 52 of you Charger Daytona owners will actually care about the Banshee. Yeah, I will admit, not a lot of people actually care that this car is actually coming out. But like I said, I did learn during Roadkill Nights exactly what is going on with this car. So I know I'm just picking on you Charger Daytona owners. I got a Charger Daytona key right here. So hey, I'm a part of the club. I can make fun of the car since I'm a part-time owner. Not really a part-time owner. I got a press car that's on loan. But let's go and stop talking about this and let's get right into the Charger Daytona Banshee from SRT. Now, this car here is something that I thought it was gonna be a pretty cool option back when it was first announced, especially seeing like a four-wheel drive burnout stuff. And then you seen basically Tim Knisses really announce it during Speed Week a couple years ago. And then you saw the actual mule, or not really a mule, but the concept car that was at SEMA that was like in that beautiful striker red color, then had Mickey Thompson tires all the way around, which personally, I don't really like. I kind of got like a bad taste in my mouth of having Mickey Thompson tires on a Dodge car because my Demon 170 is practically undrivable on the highway and stuff. So I can only imagine how bad the actual ride of this Banshee would be if this is an option in the future. We'll have four-wheel Mickey Thompson, but I'll just say that for another day. I don't want to piss off Mickey Thompson, but I think that was like a terrible decision putting those tires stock on the Demon 170 from the factory from Dodge. I'm just gonna put it out there. But the Banshee, let's get right into the Banshee. So at Roadkill Nights, me, TK's Garage, also Motivator, we went. I got invited. I brought those two guys there with me. Oh, look at this guy. Uh-oh.
Fuck, they let you in here?
Uh-huh. I got the whole crew.
Where's security? Oh, man.
The whole crew.
How you doing, buddy? Good, how are you? Not bad.
And let's just say during the actual media portion of Roadkill Nights, because the media event was the day before. That's when we got basically introduced to all the changes to the Durango having like a whole Hemi lineup, the Durango having a jailbreak option, then a one-on-one program, then all those six-pack cars, which is where I'm wearing this hat for. So we're gonna introduce all that stuff the day before and got to go and do like the thrill rides for the actual Charger six-pack cars. So all the stuff we was doing. And then that same day, I also had a chance to interview Matt McAleer, the CEO of Dodge. Now, I'm gonna go and say this to Lannis before you try to investigate me. Matt McAleer did not tell me anything about the daggone Charger Daytona. I'm just gonna go and put it out there. I'm not gonna say exactly who it was that said something to me, but I will say this. I did learn exactly what is going on with the Banshee and exactly what is going on right now. Now, from what my dear sources in Stellantis had told me at the event, that yes, the Banshee is still coming out, and yes, the Banshee has a actual working prototype that's actually driving right now. Now, I was told from a few people that there's a special car that was a Roadkill Nights that's kind of hiding in plain sight. Now, I don't know whether or not the Banshee was actually there or not, but there wasn't really that many options of cars that were hiding in plain sight. There was a bunch of Charger six-pack cars, and I think maybe a couple of Daytonas around there. So I had no idea if this special car was actual Daytona or not, the actual Banshee version. But we were told that there was a special car there, and I was told that, yeah, there is a working prototype of the Charger Daytona Banshee that is actually on the streets driving. Probably a lot of people don't really care about it, And you probably never really gonna notice it because it's gonna look exactly like a regular version of a Charger Daytona. I don't really think they're gonna do anything different to it other than just change up the actual drivetrain. But the one thing that they did tell me that was pretty interesting is that 2-speed transmission is actually in that mule and is actually working. So that was something that Tim Kniss introduced back during Speed Week. I'll let him talk about it right here.
Look, everybody knows EVs are fast. Even the boring ones are quick. The instantaneous torque is impossible to deny. But the visceral experience of a muscle car is more than that. It's more chainsaw than it is cordless drill. So we made sure that the driving experience will be marked with familiar Dodge attributes. The typical single-speed transmission in a BEV, super efficient. But we know that part of what makes a Dodge is the way our power throws your shoulders into the seat back at shift points. So our engineers designed the new eRupt system. It is a multi-speed transmission with an electromechanical shifting experience that's pure Dodge. How unique? Yeah, that's also patented. At every opportunity, we use this new tech to make a muscle car a better muscle car.
So you seen that and you heard that. So my source told me that, yeah, that 2-speed transmission is actually inside the Charger Daytona Banshee Mule right now, going around, trolling around in Detroit. And from what they was telling me, that basically, I believe the final drive ratio on the EV motors and the Scat Packs in them are like 11-to-1 ratio. But then they told me that they basically stepped it up, I think around like 15, 16-to-1 ratio for the first gear. And then it shifts down to like the regular 11 gear ratio, I guess, to have, I guess, top speed or whatever, right? But that's basically what they were explaining to me. I'm not really a final gear ratio type EV person. So hold on, let me ask AI. I got it going off in the background. You might have seen it right there in the background doing some calculation stuff. So let me go check it out real quick. Okay, so I basically put in a couple pieces of information that I knew from the Banshee in my AI right there, and it told me that it is possible for the Charger Daytona Banshee to probably hit 2 seconds 0 to 60, but really only on a prep surface because this car is way heavy and a huge car. So it's gonna need a ton of power and a ton of grip in order to move almost 7,000 pounds of weight down the street and try to hit a 2 second 0 to 60 time. I don't think we're ever gonna see that kind of time in that car unless it's on a drag strip with those Mickey Thompson tires that I saw on that actual concept car at SEMA, which I talked about earlier, which I think would be a very huge bad idea. Like, Dodge, if you're going to actually come out with this Banshee, make the Mickey Thompson tires an option. Don't come out with another drag spec car that has factory Mickey Thompsons, because it's been a disaster for the D170. That's like my #1 thing I hate about my car, is those factory Mickeys are terrible for highway driving. So I'm just hoping that with this particular Banshee, whatever, that they would not do that. Just give it regular street tires, maybe like some 20x11s, whatever, all the way around, some Michelin Cup 2s, whatever, factory, and then go to the direct connection and get those Mickey Thompsons and that carbon fiber rim that was on that mule. Now, as far as this car hitting that 2 seconds 0 to 60 time, kind of like a Tesla will, it's gonna need way more power than the actual Scat Pack is. Scat Pack 670 horsepower. So I put in my AI the estimated horsepower that I think that the actual Charger Daytona will be at, and I'm hoping at like its top stage kit, it'll have 1,320 horsepower or 1,320, because during EV day, that was the motor specs they showed on the screen. When I converted the math over from kilowatts to like horsepower and stuff, it said it can get over 1,320 horsepower maxed out in that motor configuration, especially if they do like a tri-motor design. So I'll show you guys right here that I think what they're gonna do is they're not gonna really announce it as a 1,320. It's gonna be like lower horsepower, but then you got these additional stage kits that take you all the way up to 1,320 horsepower. I'll show you guys right here.
You're all gonna ask me, so I'm gonna get it out of the way. What about the power? Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you that yet. But what I can tell you is it will share another very familiar Dodge exclusive, direct connection. The Charger Daytona will launch with 3 power levels all the way up to the 800-volt Banshee system. But we're also developing 9 power levels through direct connection. You're gonna have 9 total power levels on this car. And all of those power levels will come standard with our exclusive PowerShot push to pass system.
So you've seen that and you heard that. Now, I personally don't believe they're gonna do a stage kit for the Banshee when it comes out, because as you guys seen that I covered back a few months ago when they scrapped the RT for 2026 model year, they're no longer doing stage kits on these electric vehicles. I thought it was personally stupid that a car that's already capable of reaching this amount of horsepower is being neutered through software to where you basically got to pay extra money to unlock the power that's already capable in the car. So I always thought stage kits was like a very dumb thing. I can understand it in the form of the gasoline cars where you get a part added to it, you get a smaller pulley added or whatever, and it's going to increase the horsepower. You're getting heads or E85 stuff, and that increases the horsepower. But having to go to direct connection and go get like a little passcode to unlock the power, I think that was a very dumb decision. And thankfully, Dodge kind of recognized that from all the backlash about this, that they're going to drop that whole stage kit moniker for 2026 model year. So when you buy a Scat Pack, it's no longer a Scat Pack Stage 1 or Scat Pack Stage 2. It's just a Scat Pack. That's it, with max power already in the car. So the Banshee, I'm hoping that it's gonna be a Banshee 1320. Like hell, I'll just call it the Charger 1320. Just don't even call it a Banshee, just call it a 1320, because that's how I think how much horsepower is gonna be in the car. 1,320 horsepower, because it's gonna need that power in order to compete with a Tesla Model S Plaid. And if this car cannot be the Plaid, it should not even come out. And if they're still working on it, I have to believe that they're having a Plaid getting benchmarked against this, because this car does not be the Plaid, it's gonna be a laughing stock all over again. But that's basically everything I know about this car. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Are you guys actually excited that the Banshee is still on track to get released? Are you guys excited that, yeah, I do have confirmation from a dear source that there is a mule testing with all this new stuff on there, and that 2-speed transmission is actually working? So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. If you want to check out some more things I learned at Roadkill Nights, you can check out this video right here. And until the next time, I am out.